Today is a very big day in history throughout Central Texas. So many people across our region remember exactly where they were. Taking a look back, the tornado hit Jarrell, Texas 25 years ago today. Bob Buckalew checked in with some former KVUE reporters who were actually on the ground right after the tornado struck, and he was able to get their recollections of that tragic day.
Here's a familiar face if you watched KVUE News during the 80s and 90s. That's Judy Maggio. But Judy was and is much more than a news reader. At heart, she's a reporter, and a good one. And like many reporters who covered the biggest local news story of 1997, that terrible tornado at Jarrell, Judy spent a lot of time away from the anchor desk back then to report on the people devastated by a storm and dedicated to helping rebuild their shattered community.
The people of Jarrell are rebuilding their homes and their lives, thanks to the generosity of others. The school's gym, once filled with tons of donated goods, is now filled with fun and competition.
The community spirit. I mean, you just saw people helping their neighbors, picking up what they could of what the storm left behind, but in a lot of places there wasn't a lot. So what people did was open up their homes to give their neighbors shelter.
Another former KVUE journalist remembers the jarrell-tornado too. She's now a television executive in Dallas, Carolyn Mungo, who recalls the strength of the young people whose friends died in the tornado.
I talked to a lot of kids who they knew had probably lost some of their best friends, but they allowed us to put microphones on them, and they wanted to talk.
Last Friday, Sheriff Stingdon was standing at a podium, the valedictorian of Jarrell High School's senior class. Today, she sits trying to erase what happened 4 days later.
Sometimes you just have to, so that way you can it keeps you from crying or breaking down or knowing that you just lost a friend. They'll just keep you going if you think about something else.
I've covered a lot. I was a reporter for 20 years, and I will never forget coming up on North I-35 and looking off to really nothing. And as we got on the ground closer, seeing livestock wrapped around utility poles and the silence. There was no sound.
I've never seen anything like it. The devastation is hard to describe. You know, you had entire neighborhoods where the only thing left was the slab of the houses. You know, usually when you see tornado damage, you see the roof is blown in, the garage was ripped off the house, a tree is tumped over, but you don't see an entire neighborhood lifted off the slab and sucked up into a funnel cloud. But that's what happened with that F5 tornado in Jarrell.
25 years ago. It seems like only yesterday. Bob Buckalew, KVUE News.